Today marks the first day of National Chemistry Week, an annual event organized by the American Chemical Society, and the idea is to make people aware of the importance of chemistry in their daily lives and to demystify the subject, to get rid of the myth that the word chemical is synonymous with poison and toxin. There are no good or bad chemicals, there are just good ways and bad ways to use them. Even the most toxic chemicals, like botulin, can be useful. Just ask the people who have had Botox injections. So during National Chemistry Week, educators go around doing various presentations, doing chemical demonstrations, writing articles to intrigue people about chemistry. And I like to tell stories. I like to suggest that there's virtually nothing about which you cannot tell some sort of chemical story. So let me give it a try. Let's do the Tin Man, classic character in the Wizard of Oz, the famous 1939 movie. The original actor hired to play the Tin Man was Buddy Ebsen, who already at that time was a famous Broadway actor. And there was no big problem in making the suit look like it was made of tin. But what about the face? That was a problem. And eventually they decided on very fine aluminum powder. And they put that on his face. And rehearsals began. Unfortunately, there was a problem. He inhaled the powder. He couldn't help inhaling the powder. It was coming off of his face. He started coughing and having breathing difficulties. He had to be taken to hospital, put in an oxygen tent. Well, the producers waited, but then they decided they couldn't wait any longer, and they hired Jack Haley to take on the role. So they, of course, also had to remake the makeup. And instead of just putting aluminum powder, they embedded it in a paste, put that on his face, and that all worked out very well. So from that film, we can learn something about the toxicity of inhaling aluminum. But there was another issue there with the Tin Man. You remember the classic scene when he gets wet and he rusts. Luckily, Dorothy comes along with the oil can and limbers him up. This doesn't make sense, really, because tin does not rust. That's why we have tin cans. A thin layer of tin coated onto iron prevents the can from rusting. So they made a little chemical boo-boo there. But there are many other interesting aspects of chemistry in the movie. Of course, there are the special effects. There's all the colored smoke. So it's really a neat movie. And there was also a role that nylon played in that movie, believe it or not. Nylon had just been invented by Wallace Carothers at the DuPont company, and nylon stockings were all the rage. And as you know, Dorothy is whisked away into the land of Oz by a tornado. How to do this in the movie? Well, the special events coordinators had an idea. They took a nylon stocking, they filled it with sand and twirled it, and that's what gave the image of the tornado, taking a close-up picture. Watch that next time you look at the film. And of course, the film itself could not have existed without chemistry. You had the photosensitive silver salts that were coated onto the backing of celluloid film. So obviously, a lot of chemistry in that story. And let's hoist a mug to that. Cheers. Happy National Chemistry Week. That mug is made of pewter, and pewter is 90% tin. And that for today is our Cup of Joe.